Following the death of Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia and President Obama's nomination of Merrick Garland to take his place, Washington is now locked in what may be the last great showdown of the Obama White House.
Today I am nominating Chief Judge Merrick Brian Garland to join the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court nominations are never easy, but the stakes are especially high because Republicans believe the pick should go to the winner of the next election, and they're willing to do anything to stop the White House.
It's called delay, delay, delay.
There's almost no historical precedent for Republicans to make that argument. So what's really going on here? Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2. That's where the Constitution outlines a president's responsibility to nominate justices to the Supreme Court. And going all the way back to the beginning of the 20th century, 6 justices have taken the bench during a president's final year. Only a handful of end-of-term nominations failed during that period. One by Ronald Reagan in 1987.
I'm going to continue working as hard as I can.
And 2 in 1968 by Lyndon Johnson.
Abe Fortas asked President Johnson to withdraw his nomination for Chief Justice, and he did.
Johnson's failure led to the so-called Thurman Rule. So-called because it's not actually a rule, but more of a general principle that the Senate should stop considering presidential appointments when that president only has about 6 months left in office.
I feel very strongly that it would be a great mistake to confirm Justice Fortas.
But at the time of Scalia's death, President Obama had 11 months left in his term, and the average confirmation process takes between 70 and 90 days. So it's not like there isn't enough time on the clock.
I plan to fulfill my constitutional responsibilities to nominate a successor.
The reality is Republicans aren't really arguing over the president's power. They're worried about Scalia's replacement. Since the 1980s, the Supreme Court has had a rightward tilt, and giving up Scalia's seat could undo that conservative advantage. And while history doesn't provide the precedent that Republicans want, the last few years have seen big breaks with tradition, from Congress's general work slowdown to its flirtation with default.
Until the next president, whether it's a Republican or whether it's a Democrat, is elected and sworn in.
But the biggest reason why Republicans are taking a hard line is because that's how the system is designed. The 3 branches of government are meant to compete with one another, and it's only natural that they would use the open court seat as just another opportunity to fight it out.
Well, in other days, the court's gone through heavy weather, and it and the country has survived. I'm sure it will survive this one.
After all, it's not just the Republicans. In 1992, then Senator Joe Biden took a position that some in the GOP are pointing to today.
The Senate Judiciary Committee should seriously consider not scheduling confirmation hearings on the nomination until after the political campaign season is over.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and then click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.